Hey everyone, this is Deepak, and first of all, Happy New Year. Now, the beginning of a year is always a great time to look into your plans, your business growth strategy. And today I'd like to share with you 5 important things in that order that you must focus on if you're trying to grow your practice specifically online using social media, get more clients, book more appointments. Then you're going to find this video very insightful. So let's get started. The very first thing that you want to pay attention to and spend some time is what we refer to as your offer. Now, this is something that, I'm going to speak a lot about this year. So when I say offer really means, the reason people would want to speak with you and work with you. So let's say if you have a financial practice and you are, trying to get financial planning and retirement client. Then in that case, you really want to figure out why would somebody want to speak with you. And coming up with an offer, which is essentially, think of an offer like what people would get if they meet with you or they do business with you. So having an offer clearly stated is very important. Now, this is one thing that I've seen most advisors really haven't been giving enough thought to, and that's the reason, I have decided to spend more time to get into multi-layer of offer creations model and everything. So if you're trying to get a financial planning client, just saying that you can help them retire early is not going to be enough. You need to have a lot more depth in terms of what they would get out of meeting with you, working with you, and so on and so forth. So take a look at the problems that you have been solving last year. So that's how the best way to go about creating offer. Take a look at why people decided to work with you. And if you're a brand new advisor, then try to just give some thought on what problems people are facing, why they would want to meet with you. And then try to define an experience-based model. So if you had a meeting with me, then we would do this and you will get that, right? And things of that nature. So the more clearly you can state the offer, the better results you're going to get. So here's an example of an insurance client that we've been working with. And his focus is to help people with tax-free retirement. So one of the angle of offer in his case would be that we have seen work extremely well in trying to generate a lot of appointment is essentially helping you create a tax savings amount and reducing certain amount of years from retirement. So that's kind of like a high level, but the reason people are wanting to meet with him because he's able to very clearly in that first meeting or couple of meetings show them the dollar amount of tax that they are going to save at retirement, and also how fast they can retire, how many years early they are able to retire. Now, those are the 2 things that are enticing people to sit down with the advisor. And there are a lot of layers to this whole thing, but go back and take a look at why people would want to work with you. Now, this is going to be important to figure out, irrespective of the marketing campaigns you're going to use, whether you use phone calls, whether you use direct mail, or whether you use social media. It doesn't matter. Having an understanding of why people would want to work with you is a very important thing. So number 1, work on the offer. Let's talk about number 2. The second thing that you absolutely want to focus on is campaigns. Because once you have the offer in place, then you need to have campaigns that would be taking the offer to the market and getting people interested. The 2 campaigns that we have been perfecting for last 4 years is a LinkedIn messaging campaign and also Facebook ad campaign. So that's what we like to do and we recommend doing it. If you are doing some other type of campaign, that's fine, but make sure that your offer is well articulated in those campaigns as well, because not having those campaign means you're really not taking your product and offer to the market. And that really is very important. So all you need, if you want to get clients, if you want to get revenue in your business, then you need to have offer and you need to have a very important campaign. Now, the mistakes I see advisors make is most advisors don't have consistent campaign running. There is a misconception out there in the world of marketing where people see campaigns as a limited time thing. So people run campaigns at the time of Christmas, for example. And that is not a very viable strategy for individual people like you and I. Campaign is an evergreen thing. So in our business, for example, we have a LinkedIn campaign and we have a Facebook ad campaign, and we've been running it for the last 4 years. We have a lot of data on those campaigns. We know the variations of the campaigns. We know the ROI of the campaigns and everything. And just getting laser focused on putting it together. Like I call campaign as my asset in my business. And the topmost revenue producing and return producing asset could be these campaigns. So don't look at campaign as a seasonal thing, which is the mistake I've seen people make. A lot of people go into like a direct mail campaign, or they will do a landing page campaign for like a month or 2 months. Like that is not what would produce results. So we recommend what we refer to as the evergreen campaign. So figure out what are your evergreen campaigns. And if you really haven't been using social media, I highly recommend to look into LinkedIn, Facebook, and use those as the evergreen campaign. So the second part after the offer is going to be your campaign. It's almost like, think of it like this. If you're trying to plant a tree, the seed is your offer. Now you have to water the seed, right? If you don't water the seed, then it's not going to grow. And that is really what the offer means, right? So offer, and then you need to bring traffic, what we call in the language of marketing. You have to bring people to the offer. And sometimes you have to take the offer to people. Like for example, if you're doing a LinkedIn messaging campaign, then you must reach out to those business owners, for example, that you can help save some taxes or do some insured retirement strategy, for example, or you can do some group plan for them, for example. You must take your offer to these people. And you need to put that as step number 2. Let's talk about the third step. Now, alongside offers and campaign comes emails. Now, let me just kind of spend a little bit of time talking about email, because you might think, well, email is like a very basic part and you might not understand the importance of email. So in the world of marketing or business growth, like emails have been extremely important tool. I don't know of any marketing company, funnels, or anybody out there who can get away without email. Email are like the blood of the entire marketing. And there are 2 kinds of email at a very high level. So one is a campaign email. So let's say if you're running a Facebook ad campaign for retirement or insurance, the moment somebody clicks on your ad and requests a quote or they request a guide or video, the different formats of the campaign, you need to have an email, a set of emails. In our case, typically we do 4 emails over 3 days. You could do slightly longer, but that's like a good enough email to start with. And those emails, oftentimes automated, but you can absolutely send it manually to begin with if you have compliance restrictions or things like that. But otherwise, absolutely, there are many technologies, and we have created a very good tool to track emails and send emails and all that. So those are like what we call the campaign email, which is essentially giving people what they're asking for and also educating them and requesting them to schedule an appointment. So that's the first set of email. Now the second and a very powerful type of emails is what I refer to as nurture email. And these are like the weekly email that you send to people in your list. Now the challenge financial advisors have is they do something that I refer to as like the newsletter emails, and those are not the kind of email that really would do anything to your business in terms of appointment. So you must really have the right structure and architecture to create that email which bonds with your market. People should feel that they know you when they read your email. That's really the way to write email. And in our business, for example, in the last 4 years, I've been sending like 2 to 3 emails a week for the last 4 years. So you can do the math. There are hundreds of emails. And from there, we can track the open rates, the click rates, how many people book the meeting, what is the cost per meeting booking, like how many emails per meeting booking, and so on and so forth. So email is extremely important. You take emails out and almost every marketing campaign dies. So emails are very important, and I wanted to make sure that I highlight that. So again, offer, campaigns, email. The fourth one, phone call or a Zoom call. Like again, I cannot stress how important it is. If you, like financial advisors, be it investments or insurance, they are in a consultation business, as I call it. And in fact, my business is a consultation business. So in a consultation business, the job of the marketing is to generate appointments, which are either a Zoom call, which works pretty good, or it could be good old phone calls to start with. The first meeting can absolutely be on the phone call, and we do that all the time with Facebook ad campaigns. So nailing down a process, a script, objection handling, what people are asking, what is your tonality, how do you open the call, what do you tell, Like a whole bunch of things that you need to pay attention to. So phone calls are very important. And again, I see advisors trying to get caught up with marketing, people telling them to do automated funnels and you don't need phone calls and you need to get, like all that is not going to really get you the results that you want. I mean, it does work. I have a funnel in my business that completely produces automated meeting, but what we have put behind that is like huge. And for most people, it's not possible to do that in the beginning. And even in our case, we do have to get on the phone call. So we have a very clear phone call process and we're always refining the process. So that's your fourth piece. Now let's talk about the last piece. The last piece is something that I refer to as like the umbrella of branding. So you do want to invest some energy to build your brand. Now this is the challenge. So you see in my sequence, I have offer, campaign, email, phone call, and branding as the last one. I bet I've seen most advisors start the reverse. They start with branding. Branding means content posting, website, some people do podcasts, some people do videos and stuff like that. So that is really what branding umbrella is. And in that branding umbrella, you want to start with content posting. Simple text and image posting is a good one. It works extremely well. In fact, it works better than videos even now. If you are able to do videos, you can play with it a little bit. But for most advisors, I don't recommend that because the nightmare and the overhead of creating videos, editing videos, getting mentally prepared, all that is very difficult. And you want to not bring like third-party people to do any of it because that's going to be suicidal. Videos on social media is not what people think of. So it's very complicated and it can cost you a lot of money, and almost every video will not produce, like it will not get you clients. Like branding is done for long term. Just keep that in mind. The first four things that I mentioned can be tracked with ROI. Like you can really see how much money you're making, how much profit you're making. Branding is very difficult to track, and oftentimes most companies do not track like hard metrics on branding. You're just tracking softer metrics like impressions and clicks and website visits and stuff like that. So doing some content posting is very powerful. Having a decent website can be very good, but if you don't have, I know many advisors we work with, they work with large firms and they cannot have the website. We still get the results with clients. They're still able to book meetings, get clients without website. So today's world, your social media profile pages are your website. So it is not essential. However, if you are in a position to build a website, independent advisors, insurance agent, then you should create a decent enough website. Again, we are launching tools to help advisors launch really good website fast, manage and everything. So you can invest some energy into branding site, but it is the last thing you want to do. So just to wrap up this video, you want to pay attention and focus on these 5 things in your marketing and in that order. Now again, let me highlight, the order is very, very important. If you switch the order, then I can guarantee that you're not going to be getting results from your marketing and you're not going to get the kind of growth you want. You'll be working super hard, you'll get tired, you'll get burned, you will pretty much lose a lot of your money with different marketing process and people that you hire or marketing campaigns and projects and stuff like that. So try to create a long-term view. And again, next year when you're sitting here, you might be looking at again new campaigns. And that is not the kind of marketing you want. You want to build an asset that you're able to enhance. Like in our case, this year, we are running the same campaigns, like physically, architecture-wise, the same campaign. Of course, the artifacts are different, the videos are slightly different, the ads are different. The core plumbing, if you will, or the core steps of the video is very much the same, or the campaign is the same. A LinkedIn message campaign or ad campaign is the same. So we build the asset in our business and we are able to take that asset year over year. And every year we have more data on the asset, which means we are able to now really pick the winners and play a bigger game. So I hope this helps and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.